So first things first, Yahuah. Shalom. Shalom. Yom Tov. Thank you for another week. You are awesome. I want to give reverence to you first because obviously there's things to address. But also I'm going to come back on and read the Psalm Tehillim for the week ahead. I did get a brief overview of the stuff that was in my news feed, and it's just right in alignment with prophecy that you've given over the decades, and 5-year periods and 30 years and all of that kind of stuff. So no surprises there. I just want to say you're awesome and mighty and powerful, and you are the power. Oh, thank you for the songs and the praise and the worship. A reminder of you have that power. You are the power. Your word is power. Your truth is power. Your love is power. Your light is power. Your blood is power. That's the power. And you are almighty. You are authority. You are control. Everything is in your hands. You see all. You know all. So you saw, so many things. You saw people doing divinations. Still, there are still certain people doing that. Whoever that is living at Southridge, Yahuah. Yesterday, there was their interpretation of the man at the Sprouts Market with always wearing a bun. And then there was this satanic star on the ground. And people doing divinations the other day, before I visited the area. And so that was what happened the other day. Well, today people were doing things, and they wanted to bring up, my cousin that doesn't know me. We don't have a relationship, and we never really did anyway. Names rhymes with Cash, but and I'm not talking about Cash Patel. But yeah, so anyway, there were their concerns of, I'm not hiding from this individual or anything like that. You know how Elohim puts you in, setting you apart, and he separates you from the evil ones. He said when he takes away the righteous from the wicked, but he'll separate you. He can put you in seasons of hiding or in a cleft of a rock to see him and all that kind of stuff. But there's people who don't know and understand things, and I don't know what their obsession is. The people that live over there, they don't own anything. They're not in control of anything. They're not overseeing anything, and they breed nothing but confusion, because they also brought up before the former lady from a corporate department place with blonde hair, who was always sick all the time. That she was a part of the divinations, and that they're a part of the divinations, and they keep talking about how they're so upset about, coming for my family and the Pride people. And I was like, I've never supported the Pride community. I don't support Pride. Like, in a word, that's not a good thing. The pride of a lion is because it's a group, and being proud of Elohim because he's almighty is not the spirit of pride, and I don't support that. I never did. That's not a good thing. But also, I don't support things that are contrary to Elohim. I don't support fornication. I darn sure don't support adultery. I don't support coveting. I don't support homosexuality, because in the word it doesn't define different things to say lesbianism or whatever. But I don't support thieves. So again, the people who keep doing witchcraft, I definitely don't support that. Like, you are in complete separation from Elohim. You're trying to have a authority over Elohim's creation that you were never, ever, ever, ever even supposed to try to have. It's wicked. It's completely wicked. And so then there are some people that are like, oh, you're hurting people's feelings because they weren't at your ketubah, or they didn't do this, or they didn't know this, or they didn't know that, and they wanted to be a part of it. And Elohim was authority over that. The first and original one. And these people that keep coming against, like, oh, EA Junior and this and that, and it's not this and that. And then state people, the state representative for this area, like, no, I don't have respect for people who would plagiarize, who never talked about quality of life. And then we were in discussions and things, and we were speaking of these things. Now all of a sudden, oh, they want to be a part of your campaign and platform. As like when we went through Appaquiddick School District and certain positions and different things like that, where there's a standard that they had set, and representatives of the district or people who were overseeing with different management, weren't adhering to even what was set for the yearly standards. So it's like, to see a representative who would plagiarize, who would go in positions afterwards, who would do all of these wicked things with, sorority girls or their fake friends and all of that kind of stuff, and play these games, or, we would have a picture, things that we would give to our husband, and then, we're going to play that up on the back end and this and that. It's like, I don't support those wicked things. I don't support creating, false relations of we're creating actors, we're doing these missions, and even with the governor or other people concerning doing military operations against civilians, like, I don't support that. And even with the vision of Matt Mayer and McBride doing military operations and stuff that we had last year, like, I don't support doing stuff like that on people. I also have literally seen the technological warfare against electric vehicles, against cell phones, against hacking emails, against phone calls, as they used to do tapping, and all that stuff still exists. Yeah, there's CCTV all over the place in other countries, but also here. I don't support that. Technological warfare, we had a vision about that like 30 years ago. And so I don't support them doing those things on civilians, or just in general, outside of the context of right ruling, of righteousness, of Elohim. And these people that continue to be like, well, we're trying to get you the door to come to help out what you came here for, and all of these nonsense of, why would I want to have any affiliation with people who are doing divinations daily? Whoever the people are that are obsessed with, making it either a distraction or trying to get information, we want to know what's coming next. We want to know who's going to be president. We want to prepared, and I'm trying to get prepared for presidency or council or this or that. All of this nonsense, or we want you to work with this people or that people, or go here and study there, or come in this area and liaise here. No. It's like trying to siphon the information of, what are good health practices for corporate establishments around here? What's good practices of, I can sell this information to Amazon, or I can sell this information to this or that, or I can sell this information to the affiliates that I have. Let's updo for HBCUs now. Let's put investment in these places and those places. In Africa, of course, that's prophecy, the Africa stuff anyway. But nonetheless, in the different things of technology, and we're testing it out, and we are seeing where technology isn't strong and isn't, where it's lacking, just like humans. I don't support you plagiarizing. I don't support you creating. If you wanted to have arranged marriages, that's on you. But as separate from that of, these are the faces of our brand, of our political campaigns, but they're not really the ones who have any say in what happens. Or they're the ones who can't stand on their own and make their own decisions, so they're being pulled in these different directions by pastors and mayors and governors, or people high up beyond them, or their fake friends and affiliates with Amazon or other corporations, or long-standing Democrats like Obamas or Clintons or the Bushes, or just different people, or the higher ups who endorsed all of these senators, and Rochester and all these other people, who endorsed all of the younger ones and the younger generations that were coming up and blah, blah, blah. Or these organizer groups for different programs and things. Like, y'all do y'all work. Focus on your work. These specific people who are doing these divinations daily, and then there's other people that are like, I had nothing to do with that. That's why I express it, because for the ones who say they have nothing to do with it, you know all about it. And you're like, you know all about these games that they were playing for years, which is why I don't show remorse to these people. One. Two, the ones who are choosing to do divinations daily, trying to get information and trying to get people to move in the way they want them to move, socially, economically, societally, or in response. We want you to come and do this, and we want you to come and do that. No. We want to antagonize you or provoke you to bring about certain outcomes. No. I just don't want anything to do with that evil. It's evil. A person has a right to say, you know what, this is the house I live in, this is the castle I live in, this is the mobile home I live in, this is the tent or whatever it is you live in, the park you live in, and I do not have to live where you live and do exactly what you do or any of those things. And there is not a hindrance to other people in that regard. So the person who's constantly, I'm doing divinations every day, and I'm doing this and that, and I'm going to bring up your cousin, and I'm going to try to bring distractions against economic work, against faith-based work, against the Ruah of Elohim, against the word of Elohim. And I don't want anything to do with that. It's a beautiful town that supports families, and people are understanding, the spirit of family and coming together and traditions and some of the things that are of value and memory in this. And you have those small town things where Christmas festivals. Do I celebrate Christmas? No. It's not the birth of Messiah. It's not worship of Elohim. In the context people do it, I know there are people who celebrate, I'm coming together as family, and the warmth and the love and the memories, but other people who celebrate the consumerism or the visualizations or the decorations or the idols, literally like having a statue and a graven image. And sometimes that can mean more to people than the soul of people, than the heart of people, than the coming together in a conference, or the consumerism to make money, or the pressures that some people feel that I have to give gifts or do this and do that. But I'm not out here on the corners and putting signs. I'm not called to do that. I'm not called to just evangelize. I'm not just an that's not my position in the body of Elohim as an evangelist. That's not my title. That's not my position. So I'm not out here just evangelizing on the corners and stuff. But I'm also having my beliefs and able to post them here. But I'm not sitting there sending this out to every podcaster, to every YouTuber, to whomever, just because it's what I believe. And I'm not going to Supreme Court. I'm not going to the judicial system, states or otherwise, federally, to be like, well, we have to keep it this way or do it this way, because yes, the scripture and creator and belief that is threaded throughout all civilization and all ethnicities says this, and that this is the standard. Yeah, I believe the standard of Elohim, yet I don't expect other people to be forced through somebody doing divinations on them. For example, forced through witchcraft, be forced through divinations. It's like at a position, at a company, it has standards and guidelines you have to abide by. There are repercussions when you don't. Every nation you go to, standards and guidelines to abide by. There are some that are, they're all applicable to all people. Like this, United States as one nation under God. But it doesn't say that, oh, every person has to worship God or else. That's not what it's saying. And even when we uphold those intentions and those standards, it's still not, no one's still coming to people's houses. This is a testament to lives being lost and martyrs. But no one's coming to your house and knocking on your door and say, if you don't worship God, not by different names and titles, even just God, then you get kicked out of here, or we're going to torture you, or we're going to do witchcraft on you, or we're going to prevent you from making a livelihood to the people who have tried to sabotage in those ways as well. Oh, we're going to prevent you from doing this. And I don't want you in this area. I'm tired of you coming against pride people. How? First of all, I'm not coming into your community, to your pride groups. I don't talk with you all. I address the people who have done divinations against me. And I'm not coming seeking and searching you out. And I'm not making you come to this channel. And I'm not certainly not interacting with you in the community in ways. So it's like, that's all on you of your actions choosing to come to essentially try to assault me and think that I'm not going to be able to have a response. I'm able to. For you to try to come against me, I'm not entering into your mind, your personal space, your apartment. I'm not doing that. I'm not knocking on your door. I'm not asking you for a loaf of bread. I'm not asking you to make me anything or cook me anything or be my friend or be around me or to work with me. So those people that are constantly doing these things and acting as though like it's my actions hindering them or my actions delaying them, when no, it's their own actions and their own accountability for doing divination. And their own accountability for even if you come to listen to the channel. And your own accountability for following me in the neighborhood. And your own accountability if you see me in a store, if you see me walking around somewhere and you don't like me, you have a thing, and then you go and make it your agenda to be involved with what I'm doing. That's your actions, not mine. You're accountable for that. Or trying to delay, trying to sabotage. You're accountable for that. Me asking for federal oversight because the servicemen, the politicians, the legislators, the senators, the representatives were ill-equipped and inadequate at even holding the standard of the requirements of their positions in a detriment to the lives of people. And even to the point where it's been like, it was like that for years. And people are like, we don't know these people. And I myself, no, I would not vote for them. I would not put them in office. By Elohim standard of the word, they are not qualified for their positions. Many of them. And I would not put them in position for not anything. So if I would personally make that choice, I would not impose that upon someone else. Be like, oh, vote for this person or support this person or go to their event or bring them. No, I would encourage the people to be able to be informed, to be able to learn, to be able to understand what actually is being contributed to the well-being of the people. For instance, I would not sue this company for making a product for animals and address the issue with them, but I would address the issue with the judicial system that is trying to not just fine, but also imprison people for using a product created for animals that is being used for animals. What state does that? Where else have you heard of people doing this? I'm not saying it just happens here in Delaware. And I'm not saying it's only the Wilmington judicial system that's doing that to people. And I'm not saying they haven't had FBI operations in the past and CIA operations in the past and all these kind of military operations and all kind of shenanigans that they do, that it makes it seem so not just inadequate and lacking, but so without Elohim, so without the regard of, you have programs, you have campaigns that talk about the neighbor, the neighbor, the neighbor. Where is that being neighborly? Where is that being neighborly that you would rush an old person into hurrying up and getting their information so they can get out and make their purchase and get out of the store, rather than showing good customer service to them? Where is that being neighborly that you would try to imprison someone for a violation rather than giving warnings and things in their proper time? Where is it that you would imprison someone for using a product for animals with animals? Where do they do these shenanigans where it makes it seem like foolishness and not only incompetence but incapability of not only like human regard? And they constantly come, these people who have done divinations or who have complained about the pride community, or you're spreading homosexual hate. They don't say homosexual hate. No, I don't affiliate with you. Why are you coming over here to me? That's your action. I'm not affiliating with you. I don't have to accept it. It is completely against biblical belief. I'm not saying hate the soul of a person. The whole purpose of life is for your soul to live. But it's a sad thing when you want to treat animals as though they have a soul that goes to the heaven or to the Shemaim over man and humans that do, and animals don't. Animals have the light of life in them, but they don't have the soul, an eternal soul. But they get treated as, oh, your sons and your daughters. Well, you don't even treat your sons and your daughters as good as you treat pets and animals, all members of the family. And I'm not saying have animal cruel, not to be cruel to them, but I said, you know what? I find horseshoes a cruel thing. You know, when you go to, a person goes to the salon, if you get manicures, if you get pedicures, how when you have exfoliate your skin and you have dead skin cells on the top layers, because you have the layers, largest organ of your body. But if you brush it and do certain things in a tube or bracelet for it, it can hurt. If you file your nails down too much, it goes into your cuticles and things. Clip something, it can bleed. And so even though, let's use horses, there's the hooves and there's the things, and you file it down and you put stuff in, but then you're also like embedding a piece of metal on the bottom so they have this shield. Do you think that they don't feel that at all? Even when you're shaving down and you're clipping and I'm not saying that they don't or they do. The word talks about your animals like donkeys. Hey, you can complain while this beast is out there in the winter all day in the cold. Did you think about it might wanting to be warmed by a fire? It might wanting to have a blanket over it. It might not wanting to be in the rain. But at the same time, Elohim made them, dogs, cats, all animals, quadrupeds, to be outdoors, to be amongst nature, because they're wild animals and they were created to be wild animals. You domesticate them and bring them inside houses, or put them in barns, or put them within a boundary line of a fence and gates on a ranch. And yes, Elohim commanded mankind to subdue them. Be fruitful and multiply, subdue the things of the earth. Not to be a dictator over it, but to subdue them. That's why animals are able to and supposed to follow your command, but treat it with righteousness. If an ox gets stuck, you go out and you help it. Anyway, the shenanigans of when I heard that, I was just like, I've seen many and heard and witnessed, even in trial, a lot of shenanigans in this state, a lot of corruption in this state, a lot in the judicial systems, a lot within it's not even just the ethnic communities or homelessness and stuff, or within the health community. And I'm not, and I know people can relate around the world, or they relate in their towns, because they're like, that happens here too. Come here, that happens here too. Expose it here too. And you have people online exposing and discussing more about relations, about men and women, about marriage, about traumas, about their points of healing. And that's a good thing. Revival, refreshing, rejuvenation, reconciliation back to the Creator and the true intention of life, or the true purpose for each and everything, is a great thing. The purpose of an ant, the purpose of a butterfly, the purpose of a lion, or a man or a woman. Those are great things. And at the same time, Messiah did say, there's too much badness in the world for me to be going around praising the good. We know there are good. The only good comes from Elohim, because he is the only good. Yet, silly things such as that of, I'm going to prevent someone from work, I'm going to prevent them from this and that, when they have the capability of it. Am I going out here and carrying pitchforks to the houses of these representatives? No. Am I going down here and slopping down the senators' pages and stuff? No. Am I going down here and protesting the governor? No, I'm not. I'm not in agreement with these people at all. But am I going to their places of work, to the works and efforts that they do, to go and put these things out there? And people want to whine and cry like my cousin would about slander. No, you're slandering. You slander. Do I could put you on blast. I could put so much information out there, and your faces and your names and things you published out there, but I don't do that. It's not necessary. And why would I spend all the time doing that when there's other work and works to be done? So no, I'm not going and praising your works. Yes, it was a good thing y'all decided to finally put a railroad crossing at the tracks over here. But why did it take for me to say something for them to do that? Why wasn't it already done before, for the safety of the people and the well-being of the people in the town? Nobody ever thought of it. Nobody had ever raised their hand and said anything. But then you also get the opposition of the people who were the silent. And they remained silent while a lot of corruption continued. And they still remain silent, promoting a lot of corruption, but also keeping things the way that they have been. And then some people promoting change, promoting transformation, promoting renewal. I say all of this to say, because it's the foolishness of a person claiming to, whether you claim to be Christian and you hate the things that the Bible tells you is righteous, or you hate what I have to say when I didn't bring you here to listen to me. or you hate the way that I operate or the things that I do. However, I'm not fellowshipping with you. I'm not your friend. Or you hate that I am not around you, but we are not kinfolk. And you don't know me. And they like, you don't know these people. You don't know the work we do and the effort we put in. And we're trying to do better. Well, why do they continue on divination? If a person was trying to do better, they would no longer be doing divinations. That alone tells me everything I need to know. If you cannot lay down doing witchcraft, then you do not want to be a sharer with Elohim. And because you don't, I will never have anything to do with you. Never. And so they continue to try to steal information and say you gave it away for free, or you're not having no spiritual protection, or random things where it's just like they try to excuse the fact that they're the ones doing witchcraft. Or the person's obsession with, you don't know my relatives and what our interactions were, but you're trying to enforce some kind of kumbaya thing that is not even truthful. And then to say that, oh, I'm trying to do better, we're trying to do better. Well, stop doing divinations. Stop doing divinations. Stop doing divinations. If you want to do righteously, you will do righteously. You will communicate in a human way with a human being. In a human way with a human being. In the way that Elohim says is acceptable. Not with society, money, greed, power, obsession, wickedness, anything. You talk about slander has said. No. We can look through the news journal articles and the Delaware public media to see things that these representatives and people have said about themselves. The things that they have participated, the places that they have gone, the things that have lived, the addresses they put, different things like that. To know that that's not a lie. Where they've worked, who they got ideas from. Elohim knows when a person, I'm not lying about people plagiarizing. You were not walking around saying quality of life, quality of life. You weren't walking around talking about housing stability for women and children. You are not walking around utilizing certain language because you don't hang out with me and I don't hang out with you. I don't communicate with you and I don't interact with you. So you got it from somewhere, but it didn't come from yourself. We can look at the history to find this. So what is the point of this Concerned Citizens podcast episode? Honor Elohim and stop the shenanigans. If he's giving you a work to do, do the work that Elohim gave you to do. If you have works of your hand, do the works that Elohim gave you to do. It is as simple as that. And people be like, follow your own advice. Yeah, it's not advice. It's literally scripture, but even advice, yes, I'm going to do that. One of the things I said I would stand on is no compromise to Elohim. Witchcraft is a compromise. It's not a compromise. It's a separation from Elohim. It's not being set apart for him to be Kodesh. It is a separation. And why would it's like having a company and having people work there. No, I'm not going to have people, because what one does impacts all. You will not be welcome in there doing divinations because you're going to impact all the people. And what Elohim builds and what Elohim does not include that. It's like having a cursed item among you and it coming and bringing destruction instead of the purpose of Elohim, because you wanted to have, one bad apple spoils the bunch. Some people are like, so we don't even around here, this or that. But at the same time, then you got thousands, millions, and trillions of people around the world reminded and appreciating if they do love Elohim, if they do know Elohim and why, and it being a personal choice and their personal walk and their joy of becoming like childlike wonder again, learning, being refreshed, family, things of value to them, things of meaning to them, things of substance and depth. Looking at things with a fresh perspective. Whatever it is, it's the day, and Elohim is good, and they have all the potential, opportunity, what have you, to live, I'll say, as the Creator intended. They may not believe in a Creator, but nonetheless, they have that opportunity daily, as do I. And there's no one that can sit there and tell me, it's because of that I don't have the opportunity. I have the account. If I was doing witchcraft on somebody, which I've never done and not going to do, because that would be stupid for me to separate myself from Elohim. To say I love him, but do the very thing that cuts me off from him. No, nobody and nothing is worth that. No amount of money is worth that. That's stupid. Stupid to me. Because why would I be cut off from the most valuable thing ever in life? That's what I believe. And no one is worth that. And nothing is worth that. Not going to Eden is not worth it. Trying to visit Eden is not worth me being cut off from Elohim. It is best for me to stay within his standards. So I just pray, y'all, like whatever it is that people need, that they would understand that they can find it through you and in you. And that they don't, whether you like me, what I got to say, or how I act or walk, or whatever I do, my actions, you don't have to be pervy to them. You don't have to insert yourself anywhere. And if you're not upholding the righteousness of Elohim, I don't want nothing to do with you. You don't have to wonder or guess. I'm going to be clear about it. I don't want nothing to do with it. I'm not saying that, I could take something out of context. No, the word is very plain. It's very simple. It's very clear. There are just things that are directly against Elohim, and divinations is one of them. I constantly bring that up because there's millions of things that are against him. The conviction of the heart, of a heart seeking him, a heart after him, would know that. But also, we'll just keep it at that basic level. Or the fact of like, hey, if you truly wanted to be neighborly and love your neighbor as yourself or people, then you would not act like somebody should be terrorized for living out their belief in Elohim. Even for people who are in the pride community, I'm not knocking on their door. I'm not coming to their events. Like, I'm not going and doing spells on them. I'm not going to listen to their podcasts. If a person owned a shop and it was specifically for that and they had paraphernalia for them, I'm not going to visit there. Am I going to try to say, you got to include me? No, I'm not. You don't have to include me. You live a different life. as no different than somebody who says they're white and black or black. And I'm like, I believe in ethnicities. I believe in nations. I'm not going to come a part of your club and say, I'm a part of the white club. I'm not. I'm not going to be a part of the white club. I'm not going to be a part of the black club. What I will be a part of is Elohim, his ethnicities, his nations. He has 70 nations. His truth. It's as simple as that. You don't have to be a part of it and be included in it. You don't have to like it. I don't have to like it and be a part of and included what you're doing either. And I'm not asking. So stop trying to come over here, ask or do or whatever it is and insert yourself and think that that's the same thing or that is reasonable, is acceptable, because it's not. Anyway, shalom and be well. I will bless you and keep you. Be gracious to you. Make his face to shine upon you and give you peace. Have a wonderful week in him. Be well and be loved by love itself. Love is Elohim. Elohim said that. He said he's love. He said he's good. You want love, you get Elohim. You want good, you get Elohim. You want life, you get Elohim. He is the source of that. Without the source, you always going to be searching for an imitation. An imitation. What is it like to have imitation vanilla versus true vanilla bean? Like, what is it like to have a coin that is true gold? Not as completely pure. No blended gold. You know what I mean? Or a coin that is in mint condition. That is, you didn't find one that's worth billions. What would that be versus having something that's so in it, and the value can be subjective to the standards. Because Elohim, to me, as a believer, is the most valuable thing upon life. To somebody else, $55 trillion might be the most valuable thing to them. Or 55 trillion, whatever their currency is, might be the most valuable to them. Someone might find it most valuable to quite literally travel to the luminaries. Another person might find it valuable to travel to the deepest depths of the ocean. I do believe Elohim is truth, in that what he says is a value is true value, true worth, true substance, the true life and love and good. If you don't agree with that, okay. Be on your way. I will bless you, and I mean it. And keep your people, Father. You said, if possible, be at peace with all men. And you said, do good to all, especially those of the household of belief. That's why I'm especially do good to them. Because they believe you and they're of the household of belief. Not just any belief, but the belief in the Almighty One, the Ancient of Days, the Creator of all life and all things. All the living creation, not the dead, but the living. So I thank you, Father, and blessings to all in him. To those who celebrate giving thanks on this week, not necessary, not massacres, not death, not poison, not sabotage, not wickedness, not ill-gotten gain, not fears of man, not fear of different people groups, not fear of control or the unknown, but celebrating life, the inheritances of Elohim, the legacy of an Almighty One and Creator. And I do mean life even in animals. purity and innocence, light and love and goodness, everything that Elohim is, his peace, his shalom, and his rest. To those of you celebrating that on this week, Father, may you be exalted in all things, in truth, and in your goodness, in the light of all creation, Father. And I just thank you that people will be filled with the wellspring of life on this week. They will be filled. They will be overflowing. Those who are in thirst for living water because they have been accepting an imitation. May they come and may they receive of you living water and never thirst again. Never. Be completely content, but also childlike in discovering and all the wonder and joy and goodness and abundance, however you give it on the daily, Father. Daily sufficient for the day, but prepare for your plans to come, your fulfillment to come, your reign, Shemaim upon the earth, and the Shemaim to come. And your Son, I thank you, Father, through your Son, because we pray to you. I just thank you, Father, to worship you. Amen. Shalom, shalom, be well, and I'm going to read to Helene. Peace.